Hey! Oh my god, I'm so excited. Thank you all for joining. Today, we are going to celebrate my 1,000 subs stream. Thank you to everyone that has followed me thus far. It's only been a couple months, but it has been an amazing journey, and I don't intend on stopping anytime soon. I have a favorite new hobby, and it's YouTube. So today, like I mentioned, we are going to be looking at some advanced Dungeons & Dragons monsters from the oldest book I own. Yes, I actually do own a copy, so we won't just be like ripping illegal PDFs from the internet. I've looked through this book and it is insane. Some of the stuff in here. Well, you know what? I'm just going to show you guys because that's what we're here today to do. I've actually wanted to do this as a stream for a really long time, ever since I dug this out of the bottom of my D&D bucket. Terrors Beyond Tears. So this is actually part of the Dark Sun setting. It's an official D&D setting. I don't know much about it. I think it's like desert-y themed. And this is the super obscure second appendix of the Monstrous Compendium. So it's wild how specific these books have to get in order to come create new content, because they just kept pumping out these monsters, and I am so happy they did. Okay, here's how we're gonna do this. I am going to just look through all of these, or no, you know what, why don't you guys do this? I am going to look in the chat, and if you see any monsters that you want to port to 5th edition, you let me know which monsters those are. Throw them in the chat, and I will open them up to that monster, and we will take a look at what the heck it is. Like, look at this. Blood grass, a hunting cactus, a rock cactus, a magma drake, a rain, like a dragon that is rain. I don't know what it is. I have no idea what the art's gonna look like, but I'm super excited to find out. Go ahead and throw your suggestions in the chat for whatever you want me to look at. If nobody's here and I'm just talking to an empty auditorium right now, I'm gonna go back there, grab a D100, and do this at random. There is definitely one that I want to save for last because I've been looking forward to it for a very long time. We've got elemental beasts. No idea how they differ from actual elementals. We could find out that. We have a shadow giant. Maybe a giant that lives in the Shadowfell? A salt golem. I have no idea what kind of things a salt golem is going to have. Let's see. Half giants. Ooh, okay. Oh no, I thought these were all half giant, half halfling. Half giant, half human. That would be insane. A half giant, half halfling. So a regular dude? Alright. Unfortunately, I'm not seeing much in the chat, so we are going to grab a D100. Yeah. We're gonna use my metal dice. Is that alright, Yuko? You're gonna come join us? That's good. Okay, here we go. First thing we're going to look at is number 9. Double zeros and a 9. So page 9. An Aarakocra. A Thasian Aarakocra. Okay. So let's scroll down to page 9. Oh, by the way, this book is so old that it has THAC0 listed in it. So I know that THAC0 stands for 2 hit armor class 0. I have no idea how it works, but I've heard that it is notoriously complicated. We are not going to spend today trying to figure out what THAC0 is exactly, but this is just to show you exactly how old this publication is. All right, page 9. That is page 8 and page 9. Okay. Wow. So this is what an Aarakocra looks like? Okay, they've come a long way. It looks more like a vulture than a person, like the new Aarakocra do. So I think its wings are doubling as its hands instead of the 5th edition Aarakocra, which look like, you know, person with wings and a bird head. Let's see. These are specifically a Thasian Aarakocra. So I think they are a specific subspecies. Let's see what intelligence they have. Average intelligence. So about the intelligence of a human. So they are essentially could be a playable race. I have no idea what the rest of this means. I never played 2nd edition. I don't have any plans to play 2nd edition. Or ADnD, same thing. Alright, let's see if... you know what? I might just skip this one because it is already a thing in 5th edition. They have Aarakocra. They've gone very deep into it now that it's a playable race. Let's see. Sorry for all the scrolling. Athasian Aarakocra live in tribes with 6 to 20 members, depending on the prestige of the leader. Alignments of a tribe are similar to the alignment of the leader. Okay, so tribal bird people. Yes, from a distance, an Athasian Aarakocra resembles a huge vulture. Its black eyes, set in the front of the head, provide excellent vision over a long range. The plumage is generally black with a white collar. So yeah, they're just turkey vultures as people. They speak their own language and the language of vultures. So it's literally just an Aarakocra with a vulture flavor. I'm trying to figure out... So they are carnivores, meaning they don't eat most food. They just eat meat. Let's see... No special defenses, no magic resistance or anything. These are very strange stat blocks. They look nothing like they do now. Climate, deep desert. So they're desert Aarakocra with turkey vulture vibes. Well, that's a bit of a letdown. Let's roll again. We're not going much further. That's an 11. Page 11. These are domestic animals. You know, I'm just gonna see if... Yes, okay. Going back to the vulture thing. Thanks, Christian, for logging on. I was grasping at straws over here. Vulture people. A thing versus undead, since they eat carrion. Yeah, I like that. Let's see if we can... Let's just open up a text document real quick and get this started. Vulture Aarakocra. That's definitely spelled wrong, but that's alright. Let's give them a bite attack that does extra damage to undead. and taking a book out of the lizard folk and beast barbarian subclass, then we should also have it heal them a little bit. Aarakocra. Alright, bite attack that does extra damage to undead and heals the Aarakocra if the creature is undead. I like it. Just munching on carrion. Alright. Let's roll again. See if we can come up with something crazy. Alright, page 30. What is this? This is a Dray. D-R-A-Y, Dray. Never heard of this before. Intelligence varies but average, so another human-ish kind of thing. They organize themselves into clans. I don't know what Crag Morta or New Gwystiniel is. Maybe we should Google that quick. Let's see. Crag Morta. Nope. Auto-corrected as something else. Maybe that's a typo, because it wants to be Crag Mortha. Let's see. The Dray religion. Yes, here we go. Okay. What is Crag Mortha? No, now it's here. It's Crag Morta. Okay. Wow. There is... Maybe I bit off more than I can chew. There is so much lore behind these things. Okay. The Dray, a draconic race who dwell far beneath the scorched surface of Athos, owe their fearsome form to a transformation wrought ages ago upon the band of humans who then served under Dregoth. Dregoth sounds like Dragoloth, which is a demonic cross between a Glabrezu and a Drow. I wonder if there's a relation. Probably not. Dread Lord. There's so much lore, and I am no expert on this. Alright, let's see if we've got any information actually in the book. The Dray are a new race of intelligent beings created by the undead Dragon King. There we go. That's pretty awesome. Undead dragon in the world. You know, I don't have any Dracoliches in my world yet. Put that on my bucket list. He wanted servants and followers made in his own image, so Dragoth developed a process for transforming humans into draconic humanoids. First and second generations. Let's take a look at what they look like. So they look sort of draconic, but also a little messed up. They're all omnivores, so they need a lot of meat in their diets. In Crag Morta, their city, the Dray hunt food from among the creatures released into the cave by Dragoth. Okay, so they're basically an entire race created by this dragon as their pet, as his pets, or his army, or something. They also gather roots of wild fungi that grows along the shores of the lava rivers. So underground, underneath a desert, very hot, and volcanic. Wow. What sort of things would this have in a 5th edition stat block? Intelligence varies. Treasure, alignment, number appearing, armor class, movement, hit dice, Thaco score, number of attacks. They're basically almost a playable race. They're just basically Dragonborn, but what's different between them? First generation are savage melee fighters. Yeah, this just seems like both types of Dre speak the tongue of the ancient Guistenal. Though the version used by the first generation Dre is rougher, less refined. So they're split into smart ones and dumb ones, first and second generation. Most Templars of the second generation wield metal weapons. The second generation Dre also have natural claw bite attacks, but most never use it. So yes, these appear to be just a weird amalgamation of Dragonborn or lizard folk. So that already definitely exists and could be used if you had Dre in your world. So we are going to roll again, or we could look at, let's see, Enrico, thanks for joining. Maybe a type of echolocation, tremor sense, and sunlight sensitivity since they live underground. That would work. I like that. Dragonborn with tremor sense, instead of the usual blind sight that dragons tend to have. Dre are Dragonborn with tremor sense and sunlight sensitivity. Yeah, I like this. I don't like how they're sort of split into the beginning, the first generation and second generation. I don't like the split of like, these are the dumb savages and these are the intelligent creatures. I feel like those should be mixed together and there should be variation among the race. Like, give each one of them personalities. So that's why I'm going with more Dragonborn than this new creature, the Dre. Well, I can't say new. This is older than I am. Let's take another look at the table of contents. And you guys let me know if you see anything that really pops out to you. Otherwise, we're going to go with page 45. I mean, I don't even recognize most of these rude words. A Cylops? It's like a Cyclops, but it's missing a C. Crodlu? Daggeran? Dahat? I know what drakes are in 5th edition, but I have no idea if they are the same thing as they are in this book, this publication. Crag, Cragling, Lear, Mastrial, Miorti, Miorti, Mul, Nikal, Pakubrazi. These sound like demon names, and they very well might be. But let's take a look at what I rolled. Number 45. Number 45 is the... Oh man, is that a straight line? Yeah, okay. The Phalar. 45. Climate terrain. Anywhere there is food. Okay. But they are very rare and solitary creatures. Chaotic evil. Omnivore. Hyper intelligent, though. Okay. Interesting. He's kind of got a lot of garb on for a creature that is solitary. I imagine he must have taken them off of whatever he's killed. Alright. Fail. Fails. Well, actually, this isn't the one I rolled, but it's the one we're looking at anyway. Fails are ravenous, undead beings who never quenched their need for material consumption during life. So glutton demons. Okay, I like where this is going. They are animated in undeath to continue their feeding. They seek out parties, feasts, and other social gatherings so they can quietly sneak in and begin feeding on the food present. Okay, we are actually going to start off this creation with I'm going to compare it to a stat block I'm relatively familiar with, the Nuparibo. And I'm just pulling this up on lovely D&D Beyond. So this is the Nuparibo. This is what I'm thinking of when I am looking at this guy. Is this just this glutton demon? But this guy appears to be much more intelligent. I mean, he wears clothes, for God's sakes. They never get full, and eventually people notice, either by watching a fail eat endlessly, or when the fail demands more food after consuming all the food. Oh. Okay. So they sort of sneak into parties. They disguise themselves, go to parties, and just eat all of the food. And it slowly becomes... This is a really cool... Happy Halloween, guys. This is going to be an amazing horror campaign character. Fails appear much as they did in life. In fact, the only way to tell they are undead is by their insatiable appetites or by attempting to turn one. So they're just people. They just look like people. Except they have bottomless stomachs. Occasionally, Fail's clothing is stained and unsightly from food that has fallen as they eat. Rich humans and demi-humans are often subjected to this form of undeath. Most human Fails are extremely obese, but all are recognizable by their never-ending appetites. Okay. I really like this guy, this Fail. Let's see what the Nuparibo has in store, and what we can use, what we can do to improve its already existing stat block. Alright, so this is a devil. Let's actually do a double window thing here so we can read both. Alright. So Nuparibo is a devil, obviously, and is a medium fiend. Yeah, these are humanoids, so they're still going to be medium. Fail. Using the Nuparibo stats. But what improvement is there? So this Nuparibo has the usual damage resistances, damage immunities, fire, poison. I'm thinking Christian, having something to thwart Paladin Divine Sense should be included for them disguising themselves into parties. Alright. The actual document, or not the document, the actual book, said that they... Where is it? Let's see. In fact, the only way to tell they are undead is by their insatiable appetites or by attempting to turn one. So they would not give off a magical aura or anything like that. So they would not be subject. Would not glow under detect magic. A paladin's divine sense wouldn't pick that up. That's a great suggestion, Christian. I am loving this. Okay. Under constant non-detection effect, cannot be suss out by divine sense or detect magic or similar spells, because there's also or similar magic. Because there is also detect good and evil. I don't see it very often, but I think that would normally be able to pick this thing up. And in this case, it cannot. Yeah. Uses this to sneak into the parties. Since we're using the Naparibo stats, we have to clarify that this is undead, not fiendish. Any other ideas for this thing? Let's see if the entry gives us any other information. Let's see. These are all the combats. I'm not going to understand any of this because I don't understand how AD&D works. Habitat Society. Fails eat whatever they can find, but love well-cooked meals and especially desire their favorite meals from life. Yeah, typical undead vengeance and memories. As they eat, they get even more and more hungry. So feeding them produces an endless cycle. Eventually, they must be destroyed or forced to leave. They never leave willingly and become angry when living beings refuse to feed them. Yeah, that's normal. That's more behavior than habitat. But, you know, fails have no place in the natural world. Okay. So that's pretty much all that's here for this guy. But I really enjoy this. I think I'm actually going to use this in one of my upcoming campaigns. Say there's like a necromancer or something that does not want to create normal zombies or is creating something new. Since this doesn't already exist in my world, that works out. They can create this glutton of a beast as they raise a person from the dead. Or I could just make it so that fat people or gluttons, maybe not necessarily fat, but when gluttons are raised from the dead, they become fail. And maybe instead of eating, they can be gluttons for other things, like trinkets, jewelry, and instead of collecting food and just eating it constantly, they will collect all the jewelry they can. And they just walk around like making all this noise as these gold chains, gems, piercings are just covering their bodies. And they're constantly just going up to people and stealing more. But yeah, I think that's pretty good for what we rolled, or actually didn't roll. Because this was supposed to be page 45, but we did 44 instead. Let's go back to the table of contents and see what else we've got. I got a 60? Yeah, 60. Just a 60. And so I'll put it in here. Jakar. What do these things look like? Oh, God. Stegosaurus dogs? I don't know. The teeth there kind of look like a whale's maw. What are these things? Okay. Climate, terrain, any. Frequency, uncommon. They travel in packs. They are night creatures. They're carnivores. They are animals. They are not intelligent creatures. Ooh, this is interesting. Notorious for its tenacious clamping onto a prey's extremity, until the prey or the Jakar lies dead. Okay. That's very interesting. Let's see. Reptilian predator that resembles a bulldog in both appearance and manner. Its fierce nature makes it a bane to humanoids and animals alike. A Jakar's scaly hide is thick and wrinkled with a webbed bony spine that protrudes from its back, ending just before its stump of a tail. 4 muscular legs enable it to move faster than an unencumbered man despite its short size. The Jakar's eyes and ears, well protected by its bony face and ridges, are dwarfed by the... Oh, there it is. By the mouth. The bulk of the body is a rich sandy brown color, darkening at the snout and claws. In the wild, it hunts in packs, organized to quickly overcome and ravage prey, better known as the domesticated Ikar, designed to guard valuable assets and track down escaped slaves. Okay. I still like this. That's the extra ability we're gonna have. This clamping down ability. Jahakar. Maybe you guys can see that. Let's do that. Yeah. There we go. I'm thinking we could use like a Drake sort of stat block thing. Like a guard Drake or something similar. Guard Drake. Ooh, I didn't know this got updated when the new Mordenkainen's came out. Guard Drake. Speed 30 feet. Yeah, this is easy enough. It's pretty simple. There's no specifically draconic anything inside here. Except for these things, which we can just ignore. Each guard drake has a specific thing depending on what chromatic dragon it's descended from or, made from. So I really like you being able to use this stat block here because it's literally just, armor class, speed, all normal dog-like things. And it has a multi-attack of a bite and tail. We'll probably get rid of the tail attack and turn it into a claw attack because it is specifically called out in the Jakar pages that it has look at this little stub of a tail on its butt. The spiny ridge doesn't feel like it would do anything inside the stat block unless you guys think it should. Maybe it's a magical spiny ridge and is like sort of like a flail snail shell, so if you hit it with a magic spell, it just explodes in energy. That would be interesting, but we'll get to that in a second. First, we have to do this awesome bite. Let's see. Pull up our document. Bite, attack, clamps down, and doesn't let go. So let's say if it does land a bite attack. Yeah, if it does land a bite attack, both of them are going to be considered grappled. Both the Jakar and the target are grappled. Well, maybe it's just, let's just say the target is grappled. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, Abdallah. This is going to be an automatic grapple on the bite, and the target The target is grappled. I think... I'm trying to think of a monster that does have that automatic grapple thing. Let's say... Guard Drake stats. And I want to say the Wretched Sorrow Swarm has an automatic grapple on a bite. Even though it's a small creature. So if we look up that real quick. Wretched Sorrow Swarm. Bite. While attach... Oh, no, they just attach. Yeah, the Tarrasque does. I mean... Yeah, but we're not going to copy-paste the Tarrasque's bite onto a dog. I mean, that'd be crazy. I mean, just his mouth just whop, just swallows it whole. That would be insane. Alright, so the Sorrow Sworn aren't gonna really work, because they are small, and they're, instead of grappling it, they just attach themselves to the creature, and the creature can still move. Yeah, lower than CR 30 for this guy, preferably. I mean, especially if it hunts in packs. A pack of Tarrasques? There's only supposed to be one. Let's see. Let's go back to the... Let's see if there's anything else on here that we can use in our new stat block. Let's see. Once it has put its prey in its vice-like grip, it can attempt to overbear or drag down its victim. This occurs simultaneously with the continuing bite damage. Let's see. If these guys are going to be hunting in packs, I don't want them to be too powerful, so I don't want them to be able to automatically restrain them. Just an automatic grapple. But they can attempt to restrain. Or attempt to knock prone. That's better. Because people can get up when they're prone. Yeah, let's do that. So pull up this again. The target is grappled. Bite attacks on the grappled target in... I don't know how to phrase this. Bite attacks on the grappled target. Attempt to knock it prone with probably a strength saving throw. Because it's not being, like... This isn't a particularly dexterous creature, I don't feel. It is not using skill to, like, sweep the legs out from under someone. It is trying to, like, use its body weight and just yank them to the ground. So I'm going to make this a strength save. And I'm not going to put any numbers on it. Save. I'm not putting any numbers on these creatures right now because I want to go back later and recreate these stat blocks, or at least my favorite ones, and see if, you know, see if I can get them balanced. Take a stat block from an old creature and put it on this new thing and, you know, tweak it where it needs to be tweaked. You know, damage resistances. Needs to have an increased speed because Guard Drakes only had a speed of 30. These should have a speed of, what do you think, 40, 50? Probably not 60 because they're not like horses. They're not large creatures. Let's just make it 40 because I don't want it to be too strong. And it is a medium creature, not a small one. All right. Let's, I like where this one's going. I'll put that together. Let's see if there's anything else that we want to throw in at the end. This is about their packs and how it hunts. It is aggressive and stupid, however, often forgetting who handles it. Okay, so they can be treated as pets. Like, yes, because they do get domesticated sometimes. The Jakar selects vast and diverse areas as hunting grounds. The ferocity of a pack is far greater than the sum of its individuals. Reminds me of gnolls. Well, that's probably just because it's packs and hunting and hunger. Oh, pack tactics. Yeah. No, if this ecology says the Jakar selects vast and diverse areas, if their ferocity is far greater than the sum of its individuals, yes, absolutely they're going to have pack tactics. That's a good call, Abdallah. Thank you. Pack tactics. Okay. I think we're going to call that one good and move on to something else. Let's roll another D100. 9. Wow, it's not often I roll the same number twice in one day. 30. Didn't we already do 30? Wasn't that domesticated animals? No, that was the that was these guys. That was the Dre, the weird savage dragonborn people. Okay, there we go. 79. 79. Para-element beast. Abdallah, you were debating yes or no because they're not also tactical, but it makes sense since the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. Yes, that was exactly my reasoning as well. But I would not have added that without your suggestion, probably, so thanks for that. Para-elemental beast. Rain. Climate terrain, anywhere it has recently rained. Let's see, what does it look like? Huh. I've never run into these before, because it says para-elemental beast. It's like a rain elemental, but that's not just a water elemental? And what's the difference between an elemental beast and a para-elemental beast? Let's see. Para-elemental beasts of rain are the rarest of all the para-elemental beasts because they can only be conjured where it is currently raining. Also, para-elemental beasts usually find the Athasian climate too intolerable and okay, this is about the actual dark sun setting, which is mostly desert, so that makes sense. Para-elemental beasts, that is hard to say, man. Para-elemental beasts, para-elemental. Okay, para-elemental beasts of rain appear to be free-floating waterfalls. That's cool. They are composed of heavy drops of rain that fall down and then up again, over and over in a circular pattern. This is awesome. They draw what little humidity they can from the atmosphere to sustain themselves. They speak their own language that is formed from the sound of falling raindrops. It doesn't look like they're mephits of Abdallah. They, it looks like they're actually fully sized elementals. Yeah, look at this size. 16 feet tall. I mean, I guess you could make a 16-foot tall mephit, but these appear to be closer to true elementals. How does a circular waterfall fight? It appears to be harmless. Obviously, it appears to be pretty. Probably a constant rainbow around them. But they have a number of powerful attacks. Their attacks combined with their great speed make them difficult and unpredictable opponents. Oh, so it is basically just constantly flowing water. I imagine it's not always a circle, so if it wants to move, the waterfall changes direction and shoots straight in that direction, maybe swirling through the air, sort of like an Eastern dragon. In almost everything I've seen them in. The most water-like one I've seen in a recent movie was Shang-Chi. The good-aligned dragon at the climax sort of moved through the air like it was swimming through water. I imagine that's what these rain elementals look like. I might change them to waterfall elementals or something. Because a rain para-elemental beast is a mouthful and is not clever. So we're going to have to rename these. If you have any ideas for what you're going to name a waterfall elemental, put it in the chat, because I'm curious and I'm drawing a blank on those. Let's see. Can direct blasts of rain towards their opponents. These blasts are so focused that they cause damage and knock them prone. I honestly don't have a stat block idea for what to use as this already. That was a horribly stated sentence. Let me try again. I have no idea what stat block we're going to base this on. We might be creating an entirely new one through here. Those who attempt to walk through the creature suffer great internal damage as the water within... Oh my god! Those who attempt to walk through the creature will suffer great internal damage as the water within their own bodies begins following the same circular pattern as the water that makes up the creature. Oh my god! So it literally controls. It like blood bends you. That is amazing. That's terrifying. Alright, let's see. Rain. So this internal bleeding, internal water rushing it causes is a successful save versus death magic. Alright, we gotta start writing these things down. Let's see. Rain elemental / water elemental. A waterfall elemental. Yeah, this is absolutely brutal. Oh my god. Okay, so maybe the water elemental stat block, except it can fly, and it has necrotic damage when it pulls your own blood out of you. Yeah, sure. Let's just try the water elemental stat block for now. Getting absorbed, because I know a water elemental can absorb you, right? Let's see. Water elemental. Okay. Yeah, whelm. Each creature in the elemental space. Okay. Yeah, it's sort of the same thing, but this is a passive effect. This, like, bloodbending thing it can do. This isn't a rechargeable ability. Oh my god. This is going to be way more powerful than the water elemental. Ooh, I like that. Maybe it could feed on creatures to replenish the water lost to evaporation. Okay. A watered-down version of horrid wilting. That pun was 100% intended, and it was clever, and I give you credit, Abdallah. Let's see. Yeah, so let's just base it off of this stat block. It's gonna end up being way more than challenge rating 5 when we're done. Let's fly speed, like a fly speed of what, 80? Because we don't want it to be as fast as the air elemental, but we need it to be quick. And I'm pretty sure air elementals have a fly speed of 90. So we'll just give this guy 80. Creatures in its space. Suffer. Yeah, let's look up horrid wilting and see exactly what that does. Because it said death magic, so I want this effect, this passive bloodbending thing, to be necrotic damage. I think that makes the most sense. Let's see. Where is... There it is. Horrid wilting. Okay. Abdi Dalzim's horrid wilting. You draw the moisture from every creature in a 30-foot cube centered on a point you choose within range. So this one is an 8th level spell and does 12d8 necrotic damage. It's just... I kind of don't want this to have a save. I want this to just be passive damage, and I think that's going to be balanced because you have to be actually inside its space in order for this to work. So let's just have it be if a creature, so it cannot use this itself. Creatures that start their turn in the elementals space suffer. We won't put an amount on it yet, like usual. Necrotic damage. Start their turn in the elemental space or enter it willingly. So this thing can't just like travel through 80 people in a line and yeah, its combat tactic is just for it to walk into them, but it will only be able to do this like to a couple people at once. So we'll want to keep this low because it's going to be an automatic thing with no save. Yeah. Oh my God. This thing is crazy. I wonder if there's anything else about it. Let's see. Yeah, direct blasts of rain towards their opponents. So, let's throw that in here. It's gonna have just a ranged attack. Ranged rain attack. I don't want it to be too far because it's going to be like a horizontal rain. Actually, okay, let's make it... Okay, this is going to be a little bit weird. It is rain, right? So it should be able to fall downwards with ease. So let's make it a range of normal attack is going to be 20, 60, so like throwing a dagger. But if it is downwards, the range is going to be much, much greater. So let's make it, let's see, 150. No, let's just make it 100 and 300. I think that's what a longbow is, right? If directly downward, range 100 slash 300 feet. Okay. What else is this? What other goodies are we gonna find in this rain elemental? I honestly kind of thought this was gonna be boring, this rain elemental, but oh my God, this is crazy because it looks beautiful, but it will literally suck your blood out through your nose. All right. Para-elemental beasts, this rain thing can also cause damage to all living beings within a radius equal in feet to their current hit points by draining the moisture from their bodies to add to its own rain. Okay, so that literally is just the Horde wilting spell. Let's see. What was that? Let's go back to the Horde wilting spell real quick. And yeah, okay, so can cast a watered down. Yes, you're right. I'm literally just doing what you suggested now, Abdallah. I'm giving it the Horde wilting spell, but watered down. So instead of 12d8, it's probably going to be like 4d8. And it's going to heal some from that. And it's going to slowly turn red as the blood of the people that are by it just gets sucked into it. Oh my God. This thing's terrifying. Cannot believe I walked into this. Nope, don't need Dre anymore. Where are you? Okay. We'll make this a once per day ability, because that's what they're starting to go with. in all of the new publications. Like all the new monster stat blocks are changing things having spell slots into things being able to do cast spells a number of times per day. So that's what we're gonna stick with here. Cast a weakened horrid wilting spell and heal from it. Water turns red as it sucks blood out of living creatures within range. Cast weakened and self-centered horde wilting, because I think horde wilting you can just like toss like a fireball. Horde wilting spell centered on themselves. Okay. Oh my god. Thank you, the D100, for showing us this monstrosity. What else can it do? Magical fire causes full damage to rain parelementals, but they can easily extinguish non-magical fire. Okay, so that's normal. Resistance to fire damage. I'm pretty sure water elementals already have that, which makes sense. They are often found over oases, wells, small lakes, and other sources of water, gathering moisture from them in order to retain their forms. They seldom remain on the prime material plane for more than a few weeks before returning to the elemental inner plane. So, like, probably somewhere between air and water in the elemental chaos. At least that's how my world works. Yeah, they hover over entire city-states, gathering moisture from the local water supplies, and literally dehydrating the inhabitants of those city-states. Wow, that's crazy. Okay. Wow. All right. Very happy we walked into that. Let's roll another D100 and see what we get this time. That is a 92. 92. A scorpion as a sports. That's just a scorpion with an A. A scorpion. Okay, a barbed one and a gold one. Looks like there's two types. Yeah, it's literally just a scorpion. Just, you know, spikier. Wow, I mean, they had some great ideas with that rain elemental and some other stuff in this book, but oh my god, were they scraping the bottom of the pail for the rest of these. Let's see, a barbed one versus a gold one. They're both carnivores, they both swarm, they're both non-intelligent, so they are insects. What's their size? Oh! Okay. The smaller ones are a foot to 2 feet. The bigger ones are more like 8 or 12 feet long. Wow. Okay, so they're giant scorpions. You know, that's already, I mean, that's a very clear stat block we're going to use for this. Scorpions. God. That's so dumb. I'm sorry. I think it's way funnier than it is. Scorpions. They use the giant scorpion stat block. Let's just try to stat out the bigger one, because I feel like that's just going to be more interesting in general. Okay. Barbed scorpions are incredibly large creatures that prey on any living thing they find. They make their homes in caves among the rocky Badlands, but are found all over the world, living wherever they can find enough food to exist. Barbed scorpions average 10 feet long from pincer to tail. Their carapace is a dull gray to a dusty tan. Well, I'm just going to take some of the water. They are covered with large, sharp, protruding barbs that can cause terrible damage to anyone who gets close to these creatures. Their long, segmented tail is as long as their body and arcs overhead with a venomous stinger the size of a short sword. They make a terrible clacking noise when they move about. So they're literally just giant scorpions. Let's see if there's anything special in combat. Stinger versus poison. Anyone attempting to attack it with short or medium length melee weapons must make a dex roll or okay. So just mechanically, if this thing right here is 10 feet long, then every single one of those barbs is going to be at least 6 to 12 inches. And so it's literally just covered in daggers. I'm trying to think. There's got to be something. There has to be something else that is a part of this. That has this stat, that has this ability where something covered in spikes that hugs you, and just hugging you deals damage. For now, let's just say normal giant scorpion with normal slashing damage. It's no rain elemental. Let's say attacking it, not hitting it, attacking it with a melee weapon. Attacking melee within 5 feet. Within 5 feet deals, I don't know, like a d6 maybe. A tiny bit of slashing damage. Scorpion slash barbed scorpion. Scorpion. Okay. Something similar to a battle rager. Yes! That's what it was. I don't know if the Barb Devils do it. Thank you, guys. I'm so glad you're here. Let's go Battle Rager first. Battle Rager Barbarian. Path of the Battle Rager. These dwarven, let's see, spiked armor. Let's see. What do they do? I don't think there's anything here that we can... Yeah, it doesn't appear... Like, it's this 14th level ability that actually has the spiked armor thing on it. So starting at 14th level, when a creature within 5 feet of you hits you with a melee attack, the attacker takes 3 piercing damage. If you are raging, aren't incapacitated, and are wearing spiked armor. Okay. Yeah. It is easier if it's just a flat number, like it is here. Instead of a d6, it's 3. So we'll keep that in mind. Just a flat 3 or something when it gets hit. But I'm going to look up Barbed Devil as well. Babbed Devil. Barbed Devil. Hamatula. I didn't know they were called that. Okay. Let's see. Barbed Hide. At the start of each of its turns, the Barbed Devil deals to any creature grappling it. Nobody's going to want to grapple that thing. I remember this now. I don't really like this ability for them. I like the things attacking it in melee just take damage more. So I think that's what we're gonna go with. Let's see. Deals a tiny bit of slashing damage of flat number no roll. Okay. Let us move on from this relatively mundane creature onto something else. That's a 74. 74. Ooh. Who's he? I like those weapons. It's like a spiked... when your blade has spikes on it. They look kind of cool. I wonder what they're based on. I know enough about blades, but that's only because I watched I watch Forged in Fire occasionally, where they make, it's like a reality show where they forge blades. It's kind of cool, but ooh, who's that? Well, we're not working on her. We're working on the Mull. Any land, mainly urban. Let's see. Any omnivore varies. These appear to be just humanoids. They were intentionally bred by the sorcerer kings for use in the armies and gladiatorial arenas. So they're basically just like gladiators. They're eugenics-caused gladiators. Moles are the product of crossbreeding a human and dwarf. Hey, there you go. For all of you who think you need a half-dwarf race, here it is. It is the Mull. Once grown, they retain incredible endurance and raw strength, and the long limbs of humans. Let's see. So they're just like bodybuilders. They're natural bodybuilders. That's it. I think I don't want to like. This is clearly an entire playable race. It is not a creature, and we're here to make monsters. So I am gonna write this down as, you know, just like a half dwarf thing. Mull playable race. Half dwarf. Half human. And I know that 1D&D has created, you know, there's these, you can do half something and half anything else now. Just you're going to have the actual abilities, like the mechanics of one race, and all of the aesthetics of another. So you'll look like a dwarf, but you'll be able to breathe underwater like a Triton or something like that. But in this case, you know, they'd get a bonus to strength. Nope, I can't do that because now you don't get the beginning ASIs aren't gonna be racial. They're gonna be from background. I don't know. I think we're here to do monsters. These are cool, but I don't want to dive into them right now. So I wrote them down, and I will go back to them later. So let's roll another D100. 20. Okay. A Cylops. I mentioned this earlier. I have no idea what it is. Okay. Climate is salt flats and stony barrens. Rare creature. Carnivorous. Animal. Animalistic intelligence. Size is huge. 15 feet. Okay. Ooh. Okay. Is it like a saltworm? Cylops are relentless hunters who are prized by the Templars of all the city-states for their unique tracking abilities. Okay. The creatures look like enormous centipedes that reach lengths exceeding 15 feet. Their segmented bodies... Okay, 15 feet's like as long as a pickup truck. That's terrifying. 15 feet long and another 2, maybe 3 feet wide. Their segmented bodies are long and flat and form a hard exoskeleton. Their hooked legs allow them to crawl onto virtually any surface and to scale walls with ease. Their oval heads have a large single compound eye. That's what that is. I could not tell what that is. So they basically have like this giant fly eye in the center of their face. Hence their name, the Cylops, named after Cyclopses, I assume. Their oval heads have that eye, and 3 pairs, so 6 in total, of pincer-like jaws. That seems a bit excessive. Prehensile antennae grow from either side of the jaws and reach lengths of 3 to 5 feet. So grapple, bite, good trackers. So far I am brought to obviously a giant centipede, but there's also a creature called the Slithering Tracker, which is technically an ooze, but I think we can pull some stuff from it. So first we'll do giant centipede. Giant centipede. Yes, this is a small beast, so this is not going to really work for us. We can use it as a base, but it's going to have a lot of changes. So many, because it's only challenge rating a quarter. It's small, not large. It has that climb speed. We'll keep that. It has that blind sight. We'll probably keep that. I feel like there's going to be something about that compound eye later in the description as we read it. But we'll use that as the basis. So, Cylops uses the giant centipede stat block. And it is going to maybe have some Slithering Tracker stuff. I feel like there's going to be more details about that later. This might be premature. Yes, Slithering Tracker. Okay. So this is the thing I'm looking at right here. The Slithering Tracker. It is very obviously an ooze. So I wanted to... Its name indicates that there's going to be some sort of tracking something or other. But it doesn't appear to be able to do that. I mean, it just has proficiency in survival. Is that it? That's boring. It's just like watery stealth. If underwater, it can take the hide action as a stealth check. It can false appearance. Looks like a puddle. So it's literally just like somewhere between an ooze and a water elemental. I don't know why it's called a tracker. There's got to be other stuff that track. If you guys can think of... Oh, maybe just cast Hunter's Mark. Duh. Okay. So let's allow this Cylops to cast Hunter's Mark once per day. Once per day. I feel like there's going to be some other stuff in here about exactly how it tracks things. And back to the PDF. Okay. They have a protective coloration that reflects their native terrain. The Cylops of the salt flats often display a chalky blue-white steel-gray color, and the ones of the rocky badlands. So camouflage. I don't know if we can put that in. We could just take the false appearance. No, I feel like this is just going to be flavor. I mean, I feel like if a centipede that big is moving across salt flats, I'm gonna see it coming. So I don't think appearance is gonna work that well. Cylops seem to require no sleep and will track their prey for weeks without stopping. Their unique object reading ability allows them to touch an object and then associate that object with an individual. While they ordinarily track by scent, if they are in danger of losing a trail, they will use an ability similar to sensitivity to psychic impressions. This ability allows a Cyclops to detect the psychic residue of its prey and resume tracking. Its danger sense ability generally prevents the Cyclops from being ambushed or being surprised by its prey. So I know in ADnD, the edition this book is from, they have psionics is like a big thing. Every single monster stat block has like mental stats and like a mental armor class. It gets weird and complicated. I have no idea how it works, but I feel like that's in there specifically because of that. Let's see. Their unique reading ability allows them to touch an object. I feel like there's a... Maybe it can scry. Maybe that's what its eye does. Hunter's Mark once per day. Scrying once per day. Yeah, let's do that. Scrying. And obviously proficiency in survival. Stealth 2. Proficiency in stealth and survival. Okay. I don't know if there's going to be much else in here, but we'll give it a shot. When it engages in combat, it uses antennae to stun its opponent. What? A successful hit by an antenna requires the target to make a saving throw versus paralysis. Okay. Okay. Yeah. This is going to be sort of like a carrion crawler. Hey, Cullen. How's it going? Real glad you could join us. We are currently looking at this Cyclops thing. And it's specifically a giant centipede tracker, essentially. And we're trying to give it the best stats we can. Thanks, Enrico. Yes, locate creature is another one. We'll probably give it locate object as well. That might be going a bit too far. Let's see. You can cast these spells once per day. Let's put that on a different line. Locate Hunter's Mark, locate creature, locate object, and scrying. Excellent suggestion, thanks, Enrico. It feels like a no-brainer. So yes, these antenna, they are going to have a paralysis thing. I think we can yank the paralysis of a carrion crawler. I believe those have a paralyzing poison. I think Grell do as well. So we'll double check on that. In fact, I know for a fact Grell do. One of my players actually harvested some Grell poison, and I regretted it 30 sessions later. Yeah, here we go. Grell, tentacles, reach 10 feet. Actually, yes, we can literally just grab this. So Grell's tentacles are reach 10 feet. We keep that. They do some piercing damage. We'll probably change that to bludgeoning because these aren't like these spiky Grell tentacle things. These are going to be just, you know, blunt antennae. So we'll do a little bit of bludgeoning damage, and the target must succeed on a con saving throw or be poisoned for a minute. And the poisoned target is paralyzed. And also grappled, which makes total sense if it's mandibles or antennae reaching out in front of its face to grab someone. So it's literally just going to have the Grell tentacle attack. Let's see. I almost forgot to mention, I'm hearing this music in the background constantly, and it is the lovely music from Michael Gelfi Studios. No, I'm not sponsored by them, but I use their stuff all the time. He has the huge, I'm pretty sure he has one of the largest libraries of music and ambience ever. For D&D or other tabletop games. He's got steampunk stuff. He's got like 30 different campfires depending on location, like a cave or a plain or a shoreline or a cave on a shoreline. It just like all the ambiences Michael Gelfi puts out have been amazing. The community's awesome. I've spoken to the guy in person, not in person. He lives in Switzerland, I think. But I've spoken to him on a couple different occasions, and he's just excellent, and I just want to support his work. So that is the music we're listening to, is some of his stuff. Cullen, a move earth type spell would fit the centipede type creature. Yeah. So maybe mold earth. Well, I don't know how I feel about giving it more actual spell casting, because it is supposed to be just an animalistic intelligence, except for like this tracking ability. So I could definitely give it a burrow speed though, which would make sense. It's supposed to live on salt flats and on rocks, but like if you take this for your own game, you can definitely change that. But I'm thinking like more along the Remorhaz line, or Remorhaz. I literally had a Dungeon Master Roundtable stream about this like last week or the week before, and we could not get it figured out. Let's see. Yeah, Grell tentacle attack for paralysis. Paralysis and grapple. It will also have a burrow speed. I like your idea, Cullen. I like where you're going with the move earth type spell for centipede type creatures, but I think I'm just going to do a burrow speed instead. Just because I want to... I like the new stat blocks that are sort of moving away from creatures that can cast spells and instead giving them all their own abilities. But we will give it a burrow speed. Let's see if there's anything else we can pull from this. Oh yeah, it's actual bites. While listed above as one attack, the Silex may actually attempt to bite a target 3 times. Yeah, because it's got 3 sets of mandibles for munching. Second and third sets automatically hit if it's grappled. That's normal. We'll just increase the damage for its bite attacks. Let's see. Yeah, so it's just, I'll just make it a particularly damaging bite attack instead of going through all this nonsense for like, oh, it's technically 3 attacks and each one is going to automatically hit, so it does more damage. No, we're just gonna have it extra damage on bite. Extra damage on bite because 3 mandibles. All right. Let's see. Habitat Society. No lairs. Yeah, they seem like wandering things. Here's what I was looking for. The Cylops can be captured and trained. Because earlier it said that they were valued as trackers. They have not been successfully bred in captivity and must be captured. That, you know, that tracks. I'm not about to try to breed giant one-eyed centipedes. Templars from the city-states usually try to find Cylops in the salt flats where it is easier to spot them. Yeah. Let's see. They've developed an extraordinary tracking. Yes, we know about the tracking abilities. Protective, coloration. Yep. Their poor depth of vision. Yeah, because they only got one eye. Since they only have one eye, I know the Cyclops has a sort of thing like that. Where is Cyclops? They have like poor depth perception is an actual ability in their stat block. Let's see. Yeah, poor depth perception right here. Cyclops is disadvantage on any attack roll against a target more than 30. No, okay. So we're not going to add that just because they don't have ranged attacks at all. They're just centipedes. They don't throw rocks like these guys. Cyclops will pick up the trail of their prey and track the victim relentlessly, even as they come across more vulnerable and more attractive targets. Ooh, okay. I don't see how that would go into a stat block, but that is pretty cool. Cyclops will fix on a particular target for as long as a week before selecting a new trail. All right. Prey, a Cyclops requires one dwarf-sized meal per week. So they feed on dwarves. Got it. All right. Oh, man. I love this book. I've had this book for like 8 years, and I never once opened it. And I am punching myself and kicking myself for not pulling this out before. And I will definitely be keeping an eye out for stuff like this in garage sales and whatnot, because this is amazing. All right. Next up is page 80. Hey, remember this guy? The rain elemental? Guess what? There's another one. They're called the silt elemental. So silt, I'm just making sure, but I'm pretty sure silt is just like sand, right? Yeah, silt, loose sedimentary material. Okay, yeah. Silt and sand. Yeah, okay, yeah, silt is just fine sand. That makes sense. Okay, and these are semi-intelligent. Well, how intelligent were the... Okay, they're saying they're normal elemental intelligence. Not as intelligent as humans, but not exactly animals either. Let's see. Neutral alignment, movement, let's see. Size, large, so 12 feet across, and this one, the rain elemental, was 60 feet tall. Okay, so it's slightly smaller. Ooh. Okay. We got ourselves a sand squid. That actually looks kind of cool. Alright. Parallel elemental beasts of silt can only be summoned in places where there are large amounts of silt. Yeah, duh. If they gain free will, they often travel to the Sea of Silt or other places where they can roam freely in their element forever. Let's see. They resemble the krakens of legend, except they are composed entirely of silt. They have 8 octopus-like tentacles, but their upper bodies are serpent-like. Their heads are similar to those of silt drakes in size and shape. Yeah, because I know what a silt drake is. Well, it's in this book. I could look it up. But we will just continue because we can see its head right here. Their necks are about 7 feet long, and as are the tentacles. Their tentacles do not have suction cups, but are strong enough to pick up human-sized beings in their grasp. And yeah, so we're dealing with an octopus. A billow of fine silt dust rises like steam from their nostrils. Okay, so let's I'm hesitant because we've already used it and it doesn't quite fit. But I think water elemental would be the best start for this. Just because of how these things move. Is there a way to get inside their bodies? I want to say no. Okay, once a victim has been grabbed, the creature attempts to pull it down into the silt where it suffocates. Yeah, we're going to have to use our own stat block. I don't think it's going to have that much in common with a water elemental. Okay. Let's get this started. Silt elemental. We'll double this as sand elemental. Let's see. Grappling attacks. We could just start with giant octopus. That would make sense, right? Let's pull up giant octopus. Okay. Yeah. They're almost exactly the same, except, you know, they live in silt instead of water, and they can heavily obscure the not underwater area as well. So let's, because they mentioned that, let's give it fog cloud. It's the closest thing I can think of right now. It is able to cast one per day. Fog cloud. Because it did mention an ability to... Oh god. Okay. It did mention an ability to obscure the surrounding area. You just flavor that with silt instead of fog. Let's see. Back to the lovely ancient book. Para-elemental beasts of silt attack with their mouths and 6 of their tentacles. Wow, that's a lot of attacks. Okay. Each tentacle does damage. 50% chance it wraps around and constricts. Okay, so probably when it attacks, it'll be a dex save or grappled. That's what we'll do. So, on a tentacle hit, dex save or grappled. That makes sense. And it's going to be able to drown them in... It's going to be able to, like, yank them downwards. But mechanically, how's that done? Here. Once a victim has been grabbed, the creature attempts to pull it down into silt where it suffocates. On a percentage roll is restrained. Let's say, because I do like the restrained thing, but it's going to take multiple tentacles, not just one, to restrain a creature. Let's make it. How many? Just a second one? Subsequent tentacle hits, dex save or restrained. Alright, that works. Let's see what else. Doesn't work on big creatures. That makes sense. Creature does not need to make an attack roll. Auto bite. That's we'll just give it advantage from restrained stuff. The para-elemental one. Okay, water time. The tentacles can be attacked. I honestly don't like that. It's like the Hydra's heads. It just gives the DM a whole lot to keep track of that they just don't really have to. So I'm going to ignore that. Let's see. Let's see, the whirlpool. Okay. Whirlpool of silt. Strength save or get pulled closer. Huh. I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, it makes sense, but I'd rather have it be able to, like if things are going to be in melee with it, right? They're going to be in melee with it already, and everybody else is going to be far enough away where a small whirlpool won't really have any effect. So I'd much rather have it be able to, like, bury something at a distance, or, like, restrain someone that is much further away. Let's say... Oh man, I'm imagining like someone standing on a rock above this thing's, you know, silt pit, right? How is it going to stop from just getting kited out and just like taking a peppering of arrows and magical attacks? It needs to have something ranged. And I that could be like a longer tentacle attack, like a roper that grabs someone and pulls them in, or it could be like a like it changes whatever they're standing on into silt, and you know, restrains them from a distance to give the attacks disadvantage, but then it still doesn't like do any damage to it. It could blind them from a distance. Yeah, I can cast Fog Cloud. Of course it can blind them from a distance. Let's just give Fog Cloud... Let's make Fog Cloud a 3 per day thing. I think that'll do the job. Because you can cast Fog Cloud at your archer, right? And the archer is going to be blinded because it's heavily obscured. The archer will have to leave that fog cloud in order to take its shots again. And it might be walking into some other danger or something. It doesn't really get the job done, I guess, because, you know, the archer is just going to be able to use their 30-foot movement speed, get out of the fog cloud, and then take all their normal shots. Cast 3 per day fog cloud. We could just make it a big fog cloud. Yeah, I might change that later, but... Antlions throw sand on ants to make them fall into the pit. It could have a similar ability. That's actually really cool. I did not know that. I know what antlions are, and they used to be, like, as a kid, I was just obsessed with them. It was so cool. Like this, it was so smart to have a hunting ability that, you know, you build a trap and things can't get out of it. But I didn't know that they throw sand. What would this extra ability look like? We'll keep the 3 per day fog cloud because that's not that powerful. It's just fog cloud. Sand attack. Sand throwing ability. Yeah, so maybe it like shoots off one of its tentacles, and I'm still going back to that restrain from afar. Ooh, yes, because the restrain from afar and fog cloud put together. So if it does the fog cloud, or restrains someone and then puts a fog cloud on them, they're blind and they can't move. Yes, this is perfect. Sand throwing ability, attack, roll, or target is restrained in sand. And a strength save to get out. Because I want it to be an attack roll, because then it can do this to, as if it's trying to get away from something, it can hit those tanks that are chasing it and trying to get close and stop them in their tracks by restraining them. Because if it was a dex save, well, actually no, that train of logic doesn't really work. Thank you, Enrico. The antlion reference really helped me out with this. Yeah, We'll just leave that as is. That's okay. It doesn't need to be perfect. This is, you know, less than a first draft. We're not even actually making stat blocks right now. I don't know if there's going to be anything else like this. I still like the rain elemental way more. I mean, the bloodbending ability was just epic. Ooh, yes. Virtually invisible until they attack. Give them some false appearance. Absolutely. Let's see. Only when they rise above the silt are their shapes visible. Yeah. They receive double damage from all wind-based attacks and no damage from attacks relating to their own para-element. Okay. And they can regenerate when they're in silt. I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, especially, like, look at this. 2 hit points per round. Even, like, a level 1 party is it's gonna be negligible. It's like it can cast the 2nd level spell, Heroism on itself. Just get 2 temporary hit points. It says it's vulnerable to something. It's vulnerable to wind-based attacks. But I don't know how I'm going to translate that into a 5th edition stat block. There are no wind-based attacks, like, except for, like, you know, gust or gust of wind, wind wall. It has to actually have wind in the name, pretty much. And at that point, there's few enough that you can just list them. Let's say that if they're inside strong wind, they have to do something. So the difference between sand and silt, as I understand it, is that silt is extremely fine. And it is fine enough where if you throw sand into the air, it's just going to fall right back down. But if you throw silt into the air, it sort of takes a while to get back to the ground, turns into a cloud. So I think if this silt elemental is going to be vulnerable to wind, we should say that if it starts its turn inside strong wind, I don't know. Is it going to be damage? Is it going to be disadvantage on those saves against the strong wind? Because, like, a fire elemental takes damage when it's submerged in water, right? So, what does that look like? Let's pull that up real quick. So this will be the same, except instead of being submerged in water, it's going to be submerged in strong wind. What was I looking at? Fire elemental. Fire elemental. Come on. Okay. Water susceptibility. For every 5 feet the elemental moves on water, or every gallon of water splashed on it, it takes 1 cold damage. Okay. We can't just port that over. Because it's not really being submerged in water. That is something I'm going to have to figure out later. But it is, like, I want it to have that vulnerability just because, you know, it's cool. This thing can get blown away. And I feel like that's something a monster hunter would know. Just a very, like, weird, specific piece of knowledge. Because I really enjoy it when my players are like, does this thing have any weaknesses? Are there, like, well-known strategies for fighting it? And I'll say, roll a nature check. And if they succeed, I want to have something in the stat block to give them, like, a weakness. Like vulnerability to a certain damage type. Or throwing water on a fire elemental. So I think with this one, we're going to just say, takes damage while in strong wind. And we will leave it at that for now. Takes damage while in strong wind. Okay. Alright, I thought I was only going to be doing this for an hour. It has been almost 2 hours already. Man, I could do this all night. Guys, I think I found a new favorite thing to do on YouTube. I might be streaming this sort of stuff a lot. I don't know if I'll ever get to all of this, all of these things that we've made tonight, but we are nowhere near done. There is one that I've been saving for the end of this stream. And that... So, in my world, a little bit of background before we get into this. In my world, the Thri-kreen, which is a new playable race in Spelljammer, I believe, are like these bug people with 4 arms and psychic abilities. They look like brown praying mantises. Praying manti? No, it's definitely mantises. Anyway, they have like their own society. They live in tribes and stuff. I took a spin on that, and I said that, okay, there's going to be an empire of these guys in a desert, all right? So the main desert in my world had an empire of Thri-kreen. That empire fell to an invading force of elves. And so the elves almost genocided the Thri-kreen, almost wiped them out. And now the survivors have to live underground in close to the Underdark, but still near the surface, near their home, near the heat and sand that they enjoy. And they are terrified of elves just because of this, ancient fact. One of my players is going to be playing a Thri-kreen in an upcoming campaign. Super excited about it. Probably going to stream it. Check it out when I do, but that's probably going to be in 2023 sometime. I'm not sure yet. This book has Thri-kreen in it on page 110. It also has something called Tor-kreen. And I looked at that and I said, okay, that has to be some sort of cousin. I was immediately curious. What the heck are Tor-kreen in comparison to Thri-kreen? Because they're right next to each other in the book, 110, 112, 114. And we are going to find out right now. That's not them. So, this is the Thri-kreen. This is what they looked like in 2nd edition. These, bug praying mantis things. Now they look very different. Let me just pull up a image real quick. If I can highlight correctly. Thri-kreen images. Okay, yeah. So this is basically what they are in the new edition. This is their first piece of art. They have these like double-sided glaives things and these giant 3-pointed throwing stars that they like to toss around. Lots of they're just cool. I like them in general. They have their own culture, their own psychic abilities, their own weapons made like for, maybe ceremonial purposes. I don't know. I haven't looked into it. I probably should, especially since I have a player playing one. So that's what they look like now. This is what they looked like in 2nd edition. For some reason, they really caught on and became a playable race. But the Tor-kreen, there are 4 kinds. These are the Jez and the Jalal. I'm not sure how to pronounce those. I probably never will be sure. Common in the north, so the northern Tor-kreen. Tor-kreen are large, intelligent insects very similar to Thri-kreen. Tor-kreen build permanent settlements in the sands far to the north of the Tablelands, home to Tyr and the other humanoid city-states. For many years, the Tor-kreen have sent scouts to the Tyr region. Those scouts are called Ziktrinta by other Tor-kreen, but are known as Tor-kreen to the people of the Tablelands. The Ziktrinta are known as Torkreen in the Monsters Compendium Appendix of the Dark Sun campaign setting. Okay. What's the difference between them? Oh. Oh. Oh, God. Okay. So there are subspecies, much bigger, and much more terrifying. Oh my God. Look at that thing. Okay. They have a leap. They have a leap. They have a bite. I'm not going to make any stat blocks from this. I don't think. I just wanted to read through this, and I saved it for you guys so that you can see my... Am I really doing a reaction video right now? God. All right. Anyway, I really wanted to see this, and I'm not going to wait any longer. They enjoy the jazz. One of these Thri-Kreen types enjoy combat and war and are good military leaders. They prefer to use psionics against their opponents when possible, closing to melee when psionic attack is not an option. The Jazz prefer manufactured weapons. Okay, Jalal Thri-Kreen. Those are just the description. Okay. These are just descriptions. There's no... Okay, I think the best descriptions are just going to be in combat. Jalal enjoy combat. Many have warrior character classes, and some are psionicists. Wow, that's fun to say. Psionicists. Psionicists. There, okay. Jalal prefer long-range combat with missiles and psionics. Okay, so there's the close-range guys and there's the long-range guys, but they sort of all look like this, like a more animalistic or insectile Thri-Kreen, but they have the same intelligence. All right, the Takich and the Tondi. Takich and Tondi. Let's see. Yep, that's the same blurb we got at the beginning of the other one. Takich Torkreen. Combat. Takich do not seek combat. Okay, finally, a little difference from the others. But they are quite capable when challenged. They refer to melee combat. Oh, this is about... if they don't enjoy combat, I don't want to look at their... Ah, here it is. Habitat Society. Most Takich serve as laborers. Okay. And the Tondi... Whoa. Okay. I think that one has either fox ears or has a burning head. And is more humanoid. Okay. Alright. I got more excited than I thought, guys. More excited than I needed to. These are just... Thri-Kreen in a different skin. Tondi are quite rare. They tend to be of neutral alignment, and most have a love of nature. Okay, these are the Thri-Kreen in my world. They are good aligned, and they have a love of nature. Most of them are druids that take care of the desert above them and the things that live in it. There are certain areas in the Badlands in the north in which outcroppings of pinkish rock crystal are, and large flowers are found in this place in the scrub plains of the north. These things lay their eggs there. The Kreen Druid of the Lost Oasis. This is a badly edited publication. I'm just going to say that. Look at this sentence. Still, it is rumored that the Kreen Druid of the Lost Oasis. Yes, that I'll stand specifically different abilities. And as far as I can tell, this guy is the only really different one. but I think I'm going to flavor it. I might take another look at this later off stream and see if it's actually what I thought it was. Closer to a Githzerai, Githyanki sort of relationship. But I think for now, we'll leave this be. And let's see. I'll take a look at my stream health for a second and see if people are still... Ooh, wow. Hey guys, thanks for still being here. I'm surprised I still have some concurrent viewers. I would have left by now. And as a reward, I think I'm going to say... I'll do what I did at the beginning of the stream, and if there are any creatures from the table of contents that you want me to go over before I log off for the night, just judging by the names, I will gladly do so. So I'm just going to go through a couple of them that I think you will like, because at least the ones with words I recognize. So we've got Bazrag Boneclaw, we got Bloodgrass, we have a hunting cactus, a rock cactus, and go ahead and throw something in the chat when you want me to stop and want me to look at a specific one and let me know which one it is. Just throw a name in the chat and I will be happy to quick throw together ideas for a stat block and probably make it as well later on. Let's see. A Lesser General Drake, a Magma Drake, a Rain Drake, a Silt Drake, and a Sun Drake. I feel like these are very similar to these, the parallel to beasts. A General, Magma, Rain, Sun, and Silt. I guess the elements are just different in this setting. They're Magma, Rain, Silt, and Sun instead of Air, Earth, Fire, Water. What else is there? A Doom Reaper. Athasian Dwarf. That's probably a player race or a sub-race. Elemental Beast instead of Para-Elemental Beast. These are elemental beasts of the actual Air, Earth, Fire, Water elements. Yes. The Elves, appearing in only the second appendix of the Dark Sun Monster Compendium for ADnD. They never appear anywhere else. There's the Shadow Giants. Kind of curious about them myself, to be honest. There's a General Golem. There's a Magma Golem and a Salt Golem. No idea what kind of special abilities a Salt Golem is going to have. So even if we don't look at that here, I'll probably open up the book, my copy, and take a look at that later tonight or tomorrow. There's the Half Giant. We already got those in 5th edition. A bunch more words that I don't recognize. Here's the Para-Elemental Beasts again. Psionicus. If you want something psychic, that's probably what you're going to want to go for. A Racked Spirit. So something that's tortured, maybe? Again, if you hear something that you want to actually look at, let me know, and we will look at it together right now. An Obsidian Retriever. Is that like a normal retriever? Like the drow contraption for stealing demons from the abyss? There's the Sand Howler. The Scorpion. Oh, I just realized something. This is spelled normally. Hang on. Scorpion might be a typo. Page 91. Sand Howler. Scorpion. It's a typo. I was laughing so hard because I thought it was the actual name of a creature, but no. This is just poorly edited. A lot of great ideas. Not the greatest execution. A Brain Seed. Interesting. Mind Flayer vibes, anyone? Alright, 3 kinds of Silt Horrors. A black, magma, and red. There's the Silt Spawn. Kind of like the, if you ever played the Dragonborn DLC for Skyrim, they've got like these burning zombie-like things made of like heated sand and rock. Those were cool. Silt Spawn might be like that. There's the Slig, spider, spine worm. I'm not sure what a spine worm is. There's a stalking horror. Is that anything like the slithering tracker that we were disappointed in earlier? There's the Thrycreen, the Torcreen, which are just other Thrycreen. Still not bitter about that, not at all. There's the undead Athasian Wraith. Earlier there was Athasian Aarakocra, or Aarakocra. So I think Athasian is just the name of the setting. So the Aarakocra Athasians were just basically vulture people. I'm not sure what an Athasian Wraith would be, though. And lastly, there is a thinking zombie. Well, that's the end of the list. And it's been a full 2 hours. We might go back to this. We might. Because this was a lot of fun. I will take a look at the Salt Golem later. I will also... Yeah, I'll take a look at the Salt Golem later. Right now, I think it's time for me to get a bite to eat, some more water, and it is now time for me to sign off and to remind you that everything is going to be okay. Thanks for joining the stream, everybody. I really appreciate it, and I hope that either tonight or tomorrow I will wake up to that extra 100 hours of watch time to my monetization goal.